So, the Yak-9 is, well, it's getting the job done. It's certainly maneuverable enough. It ain't a 0, but it's certainly maneuverable enough and responsive enough. Just that I'm having sort of chronic issues with, you know, wanting to get places faster than the plane can actually get there. And so this is leading me to spam my boost, which you should probably hold the boost in for emergency situations or to gain altitude and whatnot. But, you know, it seems like the best plane for me in terms of air-to-air combat is sort of a hybrid between a fighter and a heavy fighter. Heavy fighters have the engine power because they're artificially given the energy power and like the engine power, which ain't exactly historical, but in the game this is how they're presented. But the problem is that they don't have the ability to turn. Most fighters, or rather the stereotypical fighter, has the ability to turn, however their engine is not as strong. So, you gain maneuverability with the fighter, but you lose the ability to accelerate and maintain speed and then project your will across the entire map. You play heavy fighter, you get the ability to, project your will across the entire map. You can get to places really quickly and you involve yourself in a lot of fights really quickly. You potentially get a lot more points that way. However, you lose effectiveness in those individual engagements. This is how I see the balance coming together for these. But, well, fancy that. What I want is something that breaks that balance. Having the ability to go really fast and then still being able to maneuver around. I don't think I've actually found that aircraft yet. However, well, there are some planes that fit the bill a little bit, like the XP-75. And if the XP-75 had an engagement range of like 700 to 800 meters, it'd be perfect. However, it would also be fucking broken, because it has the highest climb rate out of any plane in the game. So, probably never gonna get that. But at least the multi-role fighters for the Russians, they have big cannons, so they can compensate for their lack of speed with long range, which is why we're going down this line. But anyway, back into the queue. Okay, Asian border, right. Okay.
Attention, you are entering the combat zone. Get ready.
Fairly balanced on both sides. Actually, exactly balanced on both sides with the garrison in the middle. So everybody's got a military base and everybody's got a garrison, but the deciding factor is the garrison in the center. Okay. What this means is we've got to capture these points and start shelling shit as quick as possible. I think we need to get the military base first. As soon as we load in. Any day now. Any day now. Any day now. There it is. Okay. The reason why we'd want to get the military base first is because it fires at the other points, which preemptively gives us capture points on those points, meaning that the enemy team is actually going to have to work against those in order to start capturing it, well, for them. So, it basically is just like having a ground attack plane preemptively on the point that it's shooting at, because it destroys an entire block every time it shoots, that I've noticed. However, unfortunately, the problem with the military base is that the fighter cover isn't actually that heavy. So it's kind of hard for a fighter aircraft to capture this point. There are fighters, but they're heavy fighters. Uh-oh. Ah! God damn it, P-38. Fug. But he's dead anyway. But yes. As I was saying beforehand about heavy fighters and fighter balance, if you want to see what the strength of a heavy fighter is, play a P-38. That's pretty much, I think so far, probably the best example that I could give. The P-38 and the Beaufighter and the XP-75 sort of, but the XP-75 doesn't have firepower. The P-38 and the Beaufighter, they have lots of firepower, which is another sort of example of heavy fighters, I suppose. They're big walking gun fortresses, or rather big flying walls of guns. Okay, well it seems like, see, here's the issue here. We haven't captured our military base, and because I died, set it back again, because I fucked that up. Also another thing, don't die. Dying is very catastrophic, and as I've said before, we really, 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 really need to have that toned down, because it's too catastrophic. As you can see here, The enemy bases. The enemy is shelling that, and look at that. They already have about... Yeah, almost half of that captured already. Meanwhile, we're struggling to capture 1 point. Because there just isn't enough for... There isn't enough for the air players to do, yet we have so many air players in certain situations. That makes them difficult to capture. Not because they're hard to attack, it's because there isn't very much for them to do. And also the bots who aren't ground attack players do not usually go after ground attack targets. It's not in their programming. They're not built for this, so they do not actually go after it. I think they do, on occasion, attack AA emplacements, though. See, I had to come over here to capture this because there was only 1 plane over here. Yet that plane, that point has basically the entire team sitting on top of it, and they're still not able to capture it. Why? Because there aren't that many planes there, so we can't insta-gib it with fighters, and there's only like 1 ground attack player down, 1 ground attack plane down there fucking with it. This is some of the inconsistencies of the bots. And once again, how I think this game is a little bit too... The gameplay, I think, needs to be slowed down just a little bit. Rather, a pronounced way, at least with the air, how the air game rules over the entire thing. The air-to-air game, I think, makes the game move a little bit too fast. Because right now, as you can see, they're all fucking around, basically. That is a player, I remove him. Yes. Now we actually have the damn point. However, we're really, really, really behind, and honestly, I don't think we can come back from this. Now the enemy ground attack players are coming at us. Rather, the bots, who are currently causing my teammates to explode.
A rocket has reached the target. Enemy object.
Excuse me, coming through. Boy, it'd be nice to have Alpha right about now.
A large enemy force is attacking the military base. Proceed with...
Excuse me! Did he just crash? I think that was a teammate crashing into me. Not sure, but somebody died. Now we're on the defensive here. Which... Well, it's gonna give us defense points, but it's not gonna help us actually capture the rest of the map. This is another problem that I see. It's really, really hard to break out of these situations once the enemy has you in a corner like this. Because you need to get rid of these guys, or you're not gonna really be able to win. However, in contest to that, if you leave a point, there's gonna be less for the enemy to actually do, so it'll actually take longer for the enemy to capture that way, if it's completely undefended. There's just less for them to shoot at. However, if they're coordinated, they're gonna run over it, so 50-50 on that one. So, there is a very, very clear sort of theory to playing World of Warplanes like this. However, not exactly an expert on myself, and also, most of it just kind of comes up, your team needs to work together. You need to work together with your team in order to do this, do anything in this game. A single aircraft is kind of worthless. Any singular member of the team isn't really gonna get anything done. It seems like that Spitfire is actually diving. Rip, teammate. So now we can actually engage him. See, the bots have a tendency of actually turning away in this situation, and now I'm gonna use my fucking control surfaces, because I need it, because it's a fucking Spitfire. It's a German engine Spitfire, but it's still a fucking Spitfire.
The enemy is launching rocket
Excuse me.
strikes on our complex. Try to neutralize the enemy military base.
Also, they've captured this base. Goddamn bombers. I need that wing. Boy, it'd be nice if I had my fucking gun right now.
All positions are captured by
Because
the enemy.
Spitfire, he has a maneuverability advantage on me. Because Spitfires turn really good. This is historical. And I didn't even get the kill. And we've lost every single point.
The enemy is about to win.
Ow.
Push harder.
This, World of Warplanes has a tendency to be really, really fucking snowbally. I think this is probably down to the fact that Conquest is very, very immature in terms of its design.
The enemy force is
It'll
too
probably
strong.
get better, but, you know, just for clarification, yeah, it is really, really basic and snowbally and really hard to get yourself out of situations once things start going, well, start going the enemy team's way and not your way. I did shit that round, but it doesn't look like really anyone else really got anything done. Rather, I didn't feel like I did very much, or rather, made myself a star player, but I still managed to get the highest score on my team, and actually, the highest score on both teams. It's funny how that works. So, I did shit, but it looks like everybody did shit. So, it's okay. I'm still at the top of the team somehow. Top of the game. You know, I'd feel better about, you know, wowing people with how good I am at World of Warplanes, but the problem is it's World of Warplanes, so I don't think anyone really cares. But do people playing this game right now? Well, the bots are bots, but the actual players, they're also not very good. Well, you know, the vast majority of them. So, you know, in the span of things, or rather in the scope of things, what really is the average of this game, I am pretty decisively above average in pretty much every match that I play. However, I think that's just because the bar is really low, and not because I'm an exceptional player. But if you look at the statistics, I am an exceptional player. It's really weird. It's kind of one of those things where you want to feel good about being good at this game. However, you know nobody really gives a shit. But whatever, I suppose it's just for me anyway. I suppose wanting more than that is just being a narcissist. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Eventually. I'll find a balance. But where are we now? 4,000 to go. Okay. Couple more games and we'll have R37, meaning that we'll be able to hit things considerably harder, and also have, well, auto-aim bullets, as we just demonstrated with the Yak-9, or Yak-7, my bad. Anyway, back into the queue. Okay, plateau.
Cover your allies.
Now you see, I think this is probably a little bit more in line with what I want to see the map design of Conquest be. You've got air bases, you've got garrison, you've got a military base in the center. That's basically the thing that can decide a match in a stalemate. Even if you can't really get the points, that'll help you out. But it's in the center of the map, so everybody has to fight over it. So everything is balanced, but there's one thing in the center that unbalances the situation. And if you have that thing, you've got a good chance of winning. Fairly decent map design. Or rather, I suppose, baseline competent map design. This is what you want to see. But, you know, the other asymmetrical situations are more interesting, or rather, are interesting in themselves.
You are approaching the front line. Off we
So,
go.
a little bit of variety doesn't hurt either. But, like I said, please remove the forward airstrip and replace them all with air bases. The air base, well, you can repair, which is something that, honestly, I think in most games, you really should be able to rely on being there. I am being shot to shit, and my accuracy is not the best currently. I have to basically take slashing strikes in order to not overheat the gun. Oh, hello, P40. Let me just activate the control surfaces here so I can outturn you. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm holding W and I'm not recharging my boost. But boost takes fucking forever to actually recharge. It says, well, you deplete it in seconds, but you don't recharge it in seconds. You actually, the recharge time is actually dependent on what your throttle is at. So if it's at maximum, it takes quite a while to actually recharge. Okay, so where are they're all heavy fighters, right? Yep. That P-30 is gonna come at us. I don't want to head on the heavy fighter. Ow, 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 ow. That's why we don't want to head on the heavy fighter. Remember, it's not War Thunder. You're not gonna get a pilot snipe, and the flak is not helping. And also, you can see the advantages of at least the P-38 right now, whereas it has a very wide turning circle, so it's not gonna win a turning fight with me. However, it's so fucking fast that it can bring itself around to almost actually getting another head-on pass on me. So if you slack off, they're gonna fucking tear you to pieces. So, once again, P-38, damn you scary. And as you can see, he's gonna get murdered by the Viewfighter. The AA got me. Or rather, nope, the P-40s respawned and killed me. My bad. Well, at least we can respawn at the airbase. And we still don't have that. You see, I died and that reset the point. God, that's fucking annoying. But there's not really much you can do when the air defense fighters kind of suddenly respawn. It's kind of annoying. But at least we can come in here and kind of mop this up a little better. Make up for our mistake. So yes, once again, do not die. Pay attention and do not die, but don't kick yourself so hard over it. Really, it's World of Warplanes. Don't get upset at World of Warplanes. If you get upset at World of Warplanes, you've already you've lost every single game, really. I suppose that's really the only perspective I'm gonna have. Well, actually, not just me, but a perspective only a very few amount of people are going to have, because coming from playing World of Warplanes, I mean World of Tanks, keep interchanging them like that. Coming from playing World of Tanks and actually seeing World of Warplanes launch, fail, and then sit in obscurity for, well, years, kind of de-emphasizes the game for me. But it is fun now, so maybe I will actually be a tryhard for World of Warplanes inadvertently and embarrass myself. Happens to the best of us. But we'll see about that, because honestly, it's gonna have to try really fucking hard to make me a tryhard. It's gonna have to be something I care about in here, or care about a lot. Because right now, even though I want to win it, it's kind of all fun and games. And the only thing I'm really concentrated on is just scoring obnoxiously high. Wait a minute. How much? Oh. Right. You see, there's a little bit of a problem with the, Oh, wait, no, he got me with the bomb. That's what happened. Oh. I thought he just kind of liquefied my hit points without actually noticing. But no, he killed me with the bomb. You can do that. I've done that once before myself. Whoops. Well, he got a bomb kill on me. There you go. You see, I'd be mad and embarrassed, but it's World of Warplanes. Walk it off, Junior. How am I doing on score right now? Not terribly well. And Hunter down here has a pretty decisive advantage since he is a ground attack player actually doing his job. Good on him. There aren't that many of them around. However, he's probably gonna get mauled by all these P-38s. No, wait, no, I'm gonna get the kill. Thanks, guys! Vengeance is mine! Because I thought that you see, my hit point bar at the bottom of the screen is blue. And then when it starts to degenerate from gunner fire, it stays blue. But it starts to tick away points. Eventually it'll turn red, but it stays blue for the majority, for light damage. So I thought that's what happened, but nope, completely wrong. He blew me completely out of the air with a bomb. Like, as you can see now, the black bar down there is growing. So I thought what happened was he depleted that entire thing with one single burst, and I died. Okay, let's try not to get blown up by a bomb again. Looks like it's falling to me to capture, or rather maintain control of this particular control point. Which, well, somebody's gotta do it. Your team's gotta have a solid base to work off of. Unfortunately, this puts you at a disadvantage because you're not gonna get that many points. You're not gonna be in the thick of it and getting, you know, fighter kill after fighter kill after fighter kill after fighter kill after fighter kill, which is what most people are gonna be doing. It is a shame that gameplay like this isn't typically rewarded. Oh, look, it's this guy again. Son of a bitch! Okay, fine. This is my point. You can't have it. Go away! Also, this is particularly important as well, because if I don't... You see, we're losing capture points, and if I'm not here, he will eventually capture the base. Unfortunately, now he has killed my pilot. Son of a bitch. He's using his defense gun. He's using the gunner now. Jesus Christ.
Our military
Come
base is
on!
launching strikes on
Bandage
the
that
enemy.
shit up. Let's
This will
go.
make
We've got a
things
fucking
easier for you.
IL-8 to kill. Any day now, I'm not going to be able to hit the broadside of a barn like this.
There's a heavy
There it is.
storm here. Unable to proceed. Return into
Also,
base.
we got to be careful
Do you
because
copy?
I'm running out of hit points and the squall line is here, so I really do not want to die to this guy. However, unfortunately, well, he's captured the base because I couldn't kill him fast enough. Damn you! So now we gotta run. Because I'm not gonna be able to kill him, and the air defense, the defense aircraft are gonna spawn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to slip out of here, and then hopefully by the time I get over to that airbase, my team will have captured it, so I will be able to repair and continue playing the game. See, this would be something to rely upon. See, this is, I want to have this in every game. Every single game on every map, I want to have this. Because this is a dynamic the game should have. You should be able to disengage and repair your aircraft, like, in situations like this. Especially when you have a mechanic like the squall line. Which says, if you die, you stay dead. And good, we've captured the base. So I'll be able to actually repair. It's gonna take a couple seconds, though. But we're still in the game. It looks as though there's one player, two. There are 2 players left in the game, and we didn't do very much this game. I'd like to repair, please. I'd like to fix the plane. Fix the plane as soon as the base actually respawns. Please, please, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we're still in the fight here, but it looks like the game is pretty much decided in our favor currently, unless something catastrophically goes wrong. Desks wood. However, it looks like whoever the fuck this guy is wants me dead. Okay, it's a 410. Alright, fine. Control surface around so I can actually get a shot at him before he escapes my range, and he's already gone.
Victory is in sight. Keep it up.
Wow. My pilot isn't dead anymore, so the accuracy there is kind of unjustifiable. Let's stick with this 0, and maybe we'll get something done here. Alright, Mosquito. Let's handle this. Okay, an assist, but oh well. That's a Meteor. What are you doing here, Meteor?
Keep it up, pilot. You can do it.
Got him. Good. 1 jet kill for us? Yuck, yuck. Alright, this is actually a pretty decisive game. The squall line actually came in, honestly, really early. Rather, it probably came in, but it seemed like the game was actually stalemating for a lot of the actual round time. This is, I think, how it should be. Just take this round as an example. Because now the squall line is actually a pretty decisive advantage, even though, well, the game's still gonna end in our favor, but this is a little bit more... There's more wiggle room. And that's that's Hunter down there, being mauled by 2 fighters. I think what's done here. Not every game should come down to an elimination of the players, but, you know, they should have enough time for combat to play out like this.
Head back home.
Well, hats off to our ground attack pilots. They won the game for us, or rather, they were the stars of the show here. I couldn't do anything. I was just trying to stop them. But oh well. Moving on, we can't be the star of every single show, and of everyone else, at least I'm in 2nd place, or either, yeah, right. JU88P is below me in score, so I am 3rd place, below the 2-star ground attack players. Good game.